they would walk all by my table and say stuff like, oh, that's not funny. I don't wear that stuff. You know, that necklace is still sparkly. I can't wear that so close to my face. I heard all the same self-defeating narrative that I had told myself. I almost talked myself out of my blessing when I heard the radio commercial, right? And I'm like, well, what is this? Why are we continually talking ourselves out of just trying something new? This is just the eerie. The solopreneur game is so cute. Until it ain't. It's cute. But baby. So my other game-changing moment was bringing in team, and I was hell-bent on earning enough revenue so I could get good quality team. My first plan of attack was to hire my husband. If you really want to do this, how can we do this? How can we figure it out? So you know what I did? I set up an LLC and I sold my car.
I was going to ask you, is it true you sold your Mercedes Benz?
It's true.
That's what's true.
That, my seed money, because this brand is not invested, we're 100% Black woman owned to this day.
Hey girl, welcome to the Sassy Jones Show. It's me, Sharice Jones, CEO of the one and only Sassy Jones. Come behind the scenes for all things play, family, and fun. And you know, there is absolutely no filter. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Enjoy today's episode.
Y'all grew up with like auntie and grandma who you just saw how they enter the room, you know, and like how they put themselves together. As a little girl, I used to love to sit up under my aunties and my grandmas and just listen to their conversations. I remember sitting up until like 10:30 at night. And my grandma, she would gossip. She was on the phone with her sisters. And I didn't want to part from her need. There was just a connectivity with other women that she had, right, with her sisters. So that was one thing that I learned. The second thing that I learned from my grandmother, she's still with us. She's 83 and fly as ever. But she was also the first entrepreneur that I saw, right? My grandmother went out and got contracts with the local movie theater, and she cleaned those movie theaters, and they had their second and third movie theaters. And I remember one time they didn't pay her, and she called off and custom clean out to get her money. You know, so she was a hustler, but also her fashion, right? So we grew up in a Pentecostal church that was right across the street from my grandma's house, right? And so all we had to do was own a car, we just walked straight out the door and went right across the street. That's so special. But she used to put me in this big old roller socks.
Yes!
And the big old formal dress to go with it, and the big old barrettes in your hair. And that just became part of who I am. It's from 4 years old, from a little girl, right? And then when I got into high school a little bit older, I had a knack for creating and designing. So I found myself actually taking jeans, like denim jeans, and making pillows out of them. You know those wine purses that are like long, that you would take to someone's home, like put wine in? I used that in high school as my pocketbook. Because I liked the way that it was shaped, right? It was just so odd. I didn't want what anyone else had. And I had an English teacher, she said, don't you know that's a wine purse, girl? I don't care. It's my pocketbook, right? So from a very early age, I always had a different eye, but when you ask where it came from, it certainly came from my matriarchs. But I took the money and I paid the entry to the trade show and I bought inventory and I did the show. But I was so afraid of doing that show because there were so many other established business owners there. And here I am, like knees trembling, little brown girl, like, okay, all right, I'm gonna do this, I can do this, right? And I did it. And I learned so much about myself on that very first day, right? So I learned, who my customer was. Because there was an audacity that you get as being a business owner they would walk all by my table and say stuff like, oh, that's not for me. I don't wear that stuff. You know, that necklace is so sparkly. I can't wear that so close to my face. I heard all the same self-defeating narrative that I had told myself, almost talked myself out of my blessing when I heard the radio commercial, right? And I'm like, well, what is this? Why are we continually talking ourselves out of just trying something new? This is just an earring. And we over here talking about how we can and don't, right? Why can't you try, right? Why can't you give yourself permission to try? So, they would walk all by the table, and this was so against the rules. I was standing in the aisle. They was like, get back in your booth. No. I was in the aisle, like, come on in, reel them in, you know? And I was smiling at them, and put necklaces on them, and hyped them up, and put an earring on them, and handed them the mirror. My friends were there. I couldn't pay them, but I was like, let's clap her up. She looks amazing, doesn't she? You know? And I would ask her, so what would you wear with these earrings? But i.e. empowering her to then see herself in it, right? And this is just how you convert. So, because all this is in order, like whether you're product-based or service-based, this science is just really about reducing what I call conversion anxiety, right? There's always someone at the end of the road who's going to tell themselves the same negative self-talk, right? Why I can't, right? But empowering her, so I said, what would you wear it with? And that got her wheels turning. Oh, I can't. I got this black dress on. I got this banquet I got coming up. Well, you know what? I got a wedding. Oh, all of a sudden, right? Just with a little push. So I found my customer, but I was also very obsessed with her. Not necessarily the sparkle rate itself, but the consistency and the predictability of when the customer can count on me to show up. She carved out her Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. every Wednesday because I needed to make myself like bread, milk, eggs, and water, right? I needed to be consistent and reliable for her, right? I was also an escape for her. Maybe she wasn't, maybe she wears all black all day, and she wants to step out and just try something a little bit different. Sassy Nation, this is what we call a community, was an escape for her. And in our live stream, it was kind of like our watering hole, it was our gathering place, where all of the other people were there, they were commenting, and that was social proof that, oh, there are other people out here that are just agreeing to how we're all loud. You know what I mean? Just, right? The solopreneur game is so cute. And still it ain't. It's cute. It's cute. But baby. So my other game-changing moment was bringing in team, and I was hell-bent on earning enough revenue so I could get good quality team. My first plan of attack was to hire my husband. Oh, did you just see what she just said?
I did. Yes.
Yeah. It wasn't easy. My husband is a nerd. He's a square, and he's very analytical. He's a bald-headed, light-skinned dude with a bigger belly with diverse glasses. He is that, just so you have a visual, right? Right? And he has a corporate background in marketing. He worked at Verizon for years. I said, where you go? Hey, you go. You better come down when I won't. Right? How would I report you? Right? He's like, I'm not leaving. We're depending on me this one because you're not making a move. Right? But I also, listen to this, I also had to be consistent enough to him to be believable. Because how many times you tell your friends, your girlfriends, and your husband, and your boyfriend, your group, and your families that you doing this, that, you know, 800, and paparazzi, and this, you're inconsistent with nothing, right? So we can't get mad because people don't believe in us when you haven't laid the foundation. And I'm flipping through this book, and it's all white people, right? And I said, who are these people? She said, these are the people who built the school. And I'm flipping, I said, I'm in Africa. I'm in Kenya. I'm looking at this in the book. I said, so there are no black people that help what can we do? So we began to talk, and there was an issue of menstrual poverty. Essentially, where the young girls are cutting off sleeves on their shirts, using them as maxi pads, and they're getting, yes, toxicity and all kinds of diseases from not having resources. The other issue is that there's a lot of teenage pregnancy. Their dorms are shared. So there is rape happening in the middle of the night. There's all kinds of things happening. And I'm like, so why don't we build a dorm to separate the girls and stock it with maxi pads and clean underwear? I'm okay. And this took work. Therapy, work, tears, snot, and red eyes. To work. To understand and agree that, Sharice, you're working more than you are on the floor playing with your boys and your children. Radical acceptance. Sharice, you and your husband talk about work at Sassy Jones at the dinner table and on date night. We love it. Radical acceptance. Sharice, some of your friendships have changed, right? Everybody that was there 5 years ago ain't there now. They mad because you ain't answering text messages, right? Sharice, radical acceptance. So for me, I find that I am happier and more of a whole human being when I accept that not all things are going to be